Good evening, warm greetings to all. Thank you so much for the invitation to the Secretariat of the 2001 UNESCO Convention. I am Abner Alberda, anthropologist and master in nautical and underwater archaeology. You have seen my presentation is entitled Heritage and Environment and Interrelation. I have divided my thoughts into two parts. The first, environmental condition on the underwater archaeological heritage, and the other is the impact of anthropogenic activities on the marine ecosystem. In any part of the world, there are conditions on the underwater cultural heritage that can be caused by natural factors such as marine currents, waves, and biological communities, among others, or by anthropic factors such as trawlings, public works, plundering, pollution, etc. The 2001 UNESCO Convention on the Protection of the Underwater Cultural Heritage rules the in situ conservation have the first options. Therefore, the activities carried out to have to ensure the protection of the sites. Objects in aquatic environment have the advantage of being more easily preserved than those on land, especially organic ones in anoxic environments. So these integrities tend to be rich of information for understanding the past societies and the history of the oceans. Preventive conservation is a measure carried out in situ to avoid the deterioration of the objects and depends on a series of parameters such as environmental factors, type of sites, materials present, existing threats, stage in which it is found, level of access, and historical and archaeological value of the object. So data can be known by future generations or researched with more advanced techniques and of less impact. We want to illustrate this environmental data with our research in the Caribbean of Panama through 9 areas with shipwreck potential and their characteristics. 1. Temperature. The amount of dissolved oxygen and the temperature of the water are closely related as it decreases with temperature, a fundamental factor in the deterioration of archaeological materials. Temperature throughout the year in the Panamanian Caribbean range from 25 to 29 degrees. 2. Salinity. The longer as an object stays in the water, the greater the salt penetration is. And therefore, the longer it stays to be treated. This value in our area remains high due to evaporation at the missing in the surface layer. 3. Dissolved oxygen present around the object condition its preservation or deterioration, which varies in the different parts of the same object. Dissolved oxygen decreases with depth and temperature. The minimum sum of dissolved oxygen are generally found between 200 and 1,500 meters depth. But the most of our known shipwrecks in Panama are found at a less of 60 meters depth, which is why they are very affected. There are several activities after the formation of the archaeological sites that alter the integrity of the site and the environment where they are located. 1. Fishing and recreational diving. Bocas del Toro is one of the most touristic areas of Panama. The reasons are crystalline water and environmental richness. It is located in the western part of the country, towards to the border with Costa Rica. It is close to the Punta de Bastimentos and Hospital Bay, where ethnographic interviews have allowed us to learn about the presence of two sites. The first one is a very large anchor and is covered with coral at a depth of 18 meters. The other is a deck of a metal ship at a depth of about 9 meters in the water of Solarte Island in the Almirante Bay. Two, anchoring and snorkeling. The indigenous region of Gunayala is one of the favorite areas for anchoring in boats or yachts dedicated to the tourism. In Perro Island, it is another metal boat that was shipwrecked in the middle of the last century after a collision with a reef. On the island of Chichime, the most colorful of the island, there is a metal boat stranded on a coral reef. Gunayala is rich in underwater cultural heritage and knowledge of traditional boat building called Ulu in the local language. Three, underwater archaeology. Although there is no specific study of the impact of archaeological activities on marine ecosystem in our area, archaeological activities alter marine ecosystem and can be very destructive. In this sense, we can find evidence of this destruction in the activities of the extraction of archaeological materials related to the San Jose Galleon of Panama, described by the mission of the staff in 2018. Another intervention was in Las Lajas Reef with other team, where a series of guns covered by coral and marine vegetation were extracted and placed in treatment. As you can see, many of these sites are ecosystems that are strongly impacted by the activities that we, archaeologists, also carried out. Therefore, marine scientists must work together to offer mitigation measures when the extraction of this material is justified and be able to answer research questions. We, ocean scientists, have to work together to preserve our environment and pool our knowledge for understand the ocean past. Thank you.